Yo, still bills, it's the Dizzle, man. Peak game, bro. Oh man, I just watched that. I just watched Canelo and I just watched Andre crash Canelo's post fight press conference, man. I don't know what, yo. I didn't think he had it in him. Oh shit, that was hilarious. Get the fuck out of here, yo, man. He was talking shit. He was talking his shit. Oh man, I didn't think he had that type of ruckus in him, man. I salute that. I salute the fuck out of that. Oh man, but nonetheless, let's get into the breakdown, man. First of all, get Chris Mannix the fuck out of here, man. I'm gonna start a hashtag with that shit, bro. Like, I don't know what fight he was watching. I don't know what fight anybody was watching that would have Billy Joe Saunders up in that fight at any point of the fight. I didn't start giving Billy Joe Saunders rounds until after the fourth. Maybe the third. There's no way he won them early three rounds. There's no way. No fucking way. Canelo was already cutting the ring off in the first three rounds. He was already cutting the ring off. Trapping Billy Joe on the ropes. Unleashing to the body. Like, that's what I'm talking. Why does body shots don't count, my nigga? Like, what the fuck is you talking about? What are we doing? I just be looking at these cats like, man, this shit is getting ridiculous, man. Like, nah. Now, when the middle rounds came, that's when you seen Billy Joe really start to get into a rhythm. He started using his lateral movement a lot better, man. He really started, he started utilizing them angles, punching off, jabbing off of the angle, spinning them off the jab. That's when that shit started to come in. He started really getting comfortable in there. He started really getting, so he got about 2 or 3 rounds in the middle rounds. Maybe. And it was a swing round in there as well. It was a swing round in there. But I think he didn't really start getting comfortable with the pressure of, he didn't start getting comfortable with the pressure of, that Canelo was bringing, and he didn't start getting comfortable with the, the counter punching and the body shots until the mid rounds. He got completely outclassed in the first 3 rounds. He was going to the body and cutting the ring off very well. You dig? I thought it was going to be a lot earlier. Well, no, I thought it would be a late round stoppage. But I had it like, I was thinking like the 9th or the 10th, like at least one more round. But I was like, yo, is it going to go a little bit earlier? Because of how I didn't expect him to cut the ring off the way that he was cutting the ring off that early. But nonetheless, in the mid rounds, we did start to see Billy Joe get in the rhythm. We did, and and with this fight, what it did show is that Canelo he's still somewhat susceptible to a slick outboxer. He is. Now, I won't even say susceptible, because at this point in time, I don't see anybody that slick that's active right now as Lara was and as Floyd was. So it's hard to say that he's susceptible. I won't even say that. I'll say slightly vulnerable, man, because the way he figured out Billy Joe Saunders, it did kind of put you in the mindset that he did with Kovalev, where he was just being calculated. He was like, I'm gonna land something vicious. And when he finally landed on Kovalev, we saw what time it was. The difference is with Saunders was making him miss big. Saunders was making him miss big. He was whiffing left hooks, whiffing them. Uppercuts. Saunders was, he was doing good work in there, man. And like I said, he needed to imply some of the same tactics that he did against Willie Monroe. You can't just stay on the outside and think you're gonna win them rounds, man. He was, he was getting in, and he would get off 2 and 3 punch combination and counter, let a few shots go and get back out. He did that pretty well last night. Saunders gave him good work. That was a good fight. I don't fuck with nobody say, man. That was a good fight. And it was a good test for Canelo. Now, granted, he hasn't fought anybody as slick as Saunders is since Lara. So, you know, he did like, all right, man, this is something I got to get used to a little bit more. But even with him getting used to it, bro, he was still, I don't know, like, what the fuck that niggas is watching, bro. He was cutting the ring off early. Very early. First round early. Trapping Saunders on the ropes. Closing distance. Completely closing distance. Stepping in behind the jab. I mean, I did see him step in a little too deep and, you know, and smother his shots just to, you know, just because he was really so gung-ho on getting in. I did see that. I saw that. Step in behind the jab, looking to line, you know, line him up with something. He be in too deep, so he's smothering his work. I did see that. I saw that. But shit, man, I mean, you know, he was, I don't understand how we can sit here and just disregard what he was doing in the early 3 rounds. Even, like, you know, with Saunders, man, he, you know, with him making him miss the way that he was making him miss, he was just keeping him off balance a lot in the mid-rounds. To a point where Canelo was going inactive, and he started to follow him around the ring. After Saunders got into a rhythm, you started to see, you know, it wasn't so much sliding to his left side no more. It wasn't so much that. It was him following Saunders, because, you know, now you're starting to see some sort of, you know, aggravation. Not to the point where it just completely knocked him off his game plan, because he still looked really poised in there. He still looked real poised in there. But, you know, he was loading up on big shots and he was whiffing. So I think, man, all right, man, let me chill for a minute, man. Let me chill for a minute and regather myself. Let me chill for a minute and regather myself. And that's what he was doing, man. And it was, you know, Saunders was having success. He was most definitely having success in those mid rounds, man. But that uppercut, sheesh. They're speculating that he broke that man's orbital bone, man. If you were able to do that with one shot on a fighter who's never... Has Saunders even been dropped? I don't recall him even being dropped. Like, bro, even last night he didn't get dropped. He was just discombobulated after that. And even then, the showmanship of Canelo, I'm gonna get him out of here in 8. I'm gonna get him out of here in 8. And while he's walking and stalking his, you know, walking this dude down and stalking him, he's pumping up the crowd. Like, yeah, pumping up the crowd. Yeah, like, yeah, get that shit up. Get that shit up. Bro, this dude is on a different level right now, man. This dude is on a different level. It just can't even be denied, family. Like, just at that point, his confidence was just like at an all-time high. Yeah, Saunders, after he got clipped with that uppercut, Saunders couldn't stay away from him. And Canelo saw that, and he was, yeah, I need that energy now. How you do that mid, you know, while the round is going on? That just shows you, man, I'm dominating this man right now. I'm dominating him. He came out beating his chest going in. I think he came out beating his chest going into that 8th round or the 7th round. He's like, yo, he was starting to figure him out once again. After Saunders got into rhythm, he started figuring him out once again. Once the fuck again. Getting his patterns down. All right, cool. Changing trajectory on his shots as he's spinning out, man. He was just doing really good work in there. So I don't see. That's why I'm very hesitant to say that he's susceptible to a slick outboxer. I am, bro, because he last night showed that you have to be on the level of a Floyd or a Lara. But even then, a Lara back then, when Lara was in his bag in 2014, would not have been able to stay away from this Canelo. He just wouldn't have. So I don't even like using that Lara comparison anymore because it's unwarranted. It's unwarranted as all fuck. You can't sit here and tell me that Lara. You can't. At this point, it's time to get rid of the Lara comparisons. It's time to get rid of that because that was a completely different Canelo. It's even time to get rid of the Floyd comparisons. Oh, look at what Floyd did. A lot of these cats are not Floyd and Lara. They're not. And even if they were, Canelo is ascended far past where he was. Now, a slick outboxer can give him issues. These outboxers today can give him issues. I would say that. But enough to beat him? No. At this point, I don't see anybody halting this dude from being undisputed. Even when you look at Saunders, man, Saunders and Plant are the ones who are, I think have the best shots at beating him because in spots in spurts you can outbox him from the outside. If you use your lateral movement, you can outbox him. But he's just, like I said, he doesn't have the fastest feet, man, but he's really good at getting himself into position. You even seen him lunging a little bit last night, but people were so scared of the counters that they're apprehensive on throwing, on punishing him for it. They're so scared of the counters. Oh my God, dude. At this point, he's looking unbeatable, bro. He's looking unbeatable because you just can't. It's more to being just slick on the outside. And like I said, with Lara was throwing really precise punches when they fought, and he's economical with his shots. So it's harder to time him and harder to counter him. Billy Joe pumped the jab a lot last night. That's when he really started having his best success, when he started working off of the jab. But what, to no avail, he started getting countered, bro. He was getting countered mid-ring. He started getting countered mid-ring, bro. He was back. Like I said before, with his feint and his foot, the foot feints, he's backing him up to the rope. He had Saunders on the rope off of feints, man. Let's stop playing games, bro. Let's stop playing games. And even when we get to talking about a cat like Caleb Plant, all right, bro, you beat Caleb Truax. That was January, February, March, April, May. That's 4 months ago. Why haven't you lined anything else up, man? Why haven't you lined? You're gonna need more than a Caleb Plant to prep you for a Canelo. You are going to need more than a Caleb Plant to prep you for a Canelo. Because as beautifully as Caleb Plant boxes from the outside, as beautifully as he boxes from the outside, there are still vulnerabilities with what he was doing against Caleb Truax, because Caleb Truax was getting in there and closing the distance. He just didn't throw in combination. He'd get a shot off and be like, all right, cool, I'm good with that. He doesn't hit hard as Canelo. He doesn't counter like Canelo. He comes straight down the line. No head movement. Canelo is going to give you a completely different look than a Caleb Truax. Completely different look. And you comfortable with going into a fight in September when Canelo has fought twice since you have fought? Twice. One being the tune-up, quote-unquote, mandatory. The other being a fucking undefeated world champion. Like, bro, who do you think you are, my nigga? You need to be active. Like, what is wrong with you dudes not being active? That two fights a year shit is out the window when the face of the sport is active. You can't afford to fight twice a year in that big of a gap. January then September. You really gonna wait till September to fight Canelo. Wow. That would be ridiculous, man. That just really wouldn't be smart. That would not be smart, a wise decision to make. You will wait until September for your fight with Canelo. You can at least get some. I wouldn't even be mad at you if you got some easy work in. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be mad if you got another Subway mic in there just to stay active and stay somewhat sharp. I don't know what it is with these cats who y'all just. It's a different ball game when them bright lights get on you, man, and you start and you see what it's like to stand in front of that little motherfucker. It's a different ball game when you start to see, oh man, now I'm really in here. 70,000 fans are packed into an arena to see Canelo Alvarez. To see Canelo Alvarez, which means the energy is again, you're in hostile territory. You're in hostile territory. Don't nobody give a fuck about you. You in hostile territory. We here to see the champ. That right there is like, yo. Okay. They not here to see that. I mean, you know, if you ain't on your A game or you ain't really confident in yourself, something as minute as that is gonna shake you. But even then, once you get between them ropes, it's certain shit that you see in there that you don't necessarily see. Like, who was that said that I can't remember who we fought, but he was like, yo, he's a lot faster than I expected. You know, Amir Khan, he's a lot faster than I expected. I didn't think he was that fast. I didn't think he was that fast. I didn't think he could move that fast. And he's fast as shit in there. You think you're going to just dance around the ring? Billy Joe Saunders had a 22-foot ring. And he was getting the ring completely cut off. Completely cut off. And be that mid-ring. I don't know what it is with Plant that makes him think that. You know, I seen his interview with Showbiz. I'm the only one who can beat Canelo. Like, on what planet, fam? On what planet? Because I feel Saunders is a better win than a Caleb Plant due to the fact that he has more credible wins under his belt. He has more credible wins. Plant is a taller and faster Saunders. He's taller, he's faster, but Saunders has sharpened his skill with far better competition. Even a fucking Martin Murray is better than Subway Mike. Like, come on, man. Or even a Caleb Truax. Like, we talking, Eubank Jr., Andy Lee, fucking Willie Monroe. These are dudes who, Billy Joe Saunders has a very credible resume. Very credible resume. Caleb Plant doesn't have that. He doesn't. So even though you have the skill set to beat Canelo, you haven't sharpened it against the best of competition. That shit counts. That counts. Getting in there with the best of competition to really just, heighten and leveling up your skill set. Being in there with somebody that can challenge that shit and contradict that shit matters. I don't know what makes homeboy think he could just chill till September and think you're gonna be able to beat a Canelo. This is the face of the sport, at least in the North American market. This is the face of the sport, and he's on his second fight this year and plans on fighting you for a third fight in September. And if he goes undisputed, another nigga in the tank for like December or something. Why are y'all not active? Why are y'all not looking for this? Even if you don't like him, why are y'all not looking for to draw inspiration from this dude? There's no way the face of the sport should be outworking everybody. We haven't seen one of the top dogs from the welterweights get in there yet. We haven't seen, and that's the hottest division in the sport. We haven't seen it. He's completely outworking everybody, and he's the face of the sport. And you think you're going to come in there and just beat him? Like, no. Saunders couldn't do it. I don't see you doing it. He's at this point. It's about time to put the notion of that to rest that he could lose to. No, bro. Like he could. You have to be something special in order to deal with Canelo. At this point in time, being an outboxer is just not going to be enough. I'm sorry. Dancing on the outside is just not going to be enough to deal with this dude. Because even before they went into the ring last night, you seen the footwork drills that he was doing slightly in the locker room before he even walked out. We seen that. And you think he's not going to enhance that much more when he goes in there to fight you? Saunders is the best outboxer he's fought since Lara. Danny Jacobs can fight off the back foot, yeah, but he mixes up his attack. Danny Jacobs can do everything. Saunders cannot stay in the pocket for too long in exchange with a Canelo. He can get in there in spurts, but not plant his feet and bang and still be defensively competent. No, that's not his game. So they've tested that once. They just tested that in this fight with Billy Joe Saunders. They just tested it. You don't think they're gonna continue to really work, hone in on footwork drills and hone in on cutting off the ring? And you don't think they're gonna do that? You don't think they're gonna continue to? You don't think that at all? Like this shit is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. That man cut the ring off beautifully last night in them early rounds. And adjusted to his adjustments. Adjusted to his adjustments. When he started to get in rhythm. Like I really need y'all to understand what, the level that this dude is on. Because I was thinking, man, he's still somewhat susceptible. I was thinking that last night. And then after I sat back, I'm like, no. And I mean, how they were judging last night, them commentators, man, the shit that they were saying, like, bro, what fight are y'all watching? What fight are y'all watching that will have y'all saying, yeah, he's losing this fight? Or yeah, he won them early rounds? Like, what fight are y'all watching? This is a generational talent, bro. By the time Canelo is done, he is going to have, I already think he's the baddest Mexican. He's going to have a legit argument to being the greatest Mexican of all time. And the fact that he keeps heightening his game in his prime. He just stopped an undefeated outboxer. Stopped him. At this point, the only outboxer that I can see that will be able to beat him would be Bivol. And that's just because of size. That's just because he's bigger. He's bigger than Canelo. So I can see Bivol beating him. I can see that. In light heavyweight with really respectable power and the skill set to land the power. I just can't see it with Plant. I see no end game for Plant. Saunders is craftier than Plant. Saunders is craftier than Plant. I'm sorry. Plant is really good, but after Uskataki, that was what, 4 years ago? You're gonna need more than outboxing to beat Canelo, bro. At this point in time, I'm talking a combination of outboxing and power. That's what it's gonna take to beat this dude. That's what it's gonna take to beat this dude. And someone who's not scared of his power. Someone who says, if you hit me, I can hit you back just as hard. You're going to need stopping power, something that's going to make him completely reset. Keep him at the end of a powerful, strong power jab. If you don't have that, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. This is a generational talent. Canelo Alvarez is the baddest man on the planet. It can't even be denied at this point. If people still trying, I'm seeing people, oh man, he ducking this and then the third and yada. Nah. I don't even, Andre, I see nothing that Andre can do with Canelo. I would like to see the fight though, just to shut everybody up. But he's not doing nothing with Canelo, man. He's not doing nothing with Canelo either. He, nah, bro. That's how I'm feeling about it, man. Y'all let me know if I'm on to something. Peace.